It's a sad, sad day in the world of Cardfight Vanguard, guys. Gold Paladin just lost in Worlds to Mega Colony. For shame. Oh, yeah, and also, this episode was fucking terrible. Like, this was beyond stupid, and, like, even by nonsensical card game world status, this was just kind of nonsense. Alright, let's begin. Let's begin with the positives, because we gotta be fair. There were a couple positives. First off, the decision to switch the background music to a creepy violin score in the pre-credit scene, I think is a nice choice. You are trying to signal that things are making a darker turn, that what's in control of the story and the narrative is not what it once was, and offbeat music that is sort of different from everything we've heard before is a nice touch. Unfortunately, I can't really get into the music that much because it's the exact same music they used for Wilson Fisk and Daredevil. They're ripping off Daredevil. This is ridiculous. So yeah, there's that. Next positive is the scene with between Ren and Tetsu, and Tetsu saying that he feels as though the bond between him and his deck is gone. This is a nice, a relatable way we can understand what's going on. Okay, it still doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I think that would be an interesting, scary concept to go into. That idea that such a fundamental part of who you are can be taken away, even if it doesn't seem like a lot at first, simply put, your bond with your deck of cards. Like, that doesn't seem like much, but think about it. If that can all be taken away from you from an instant, if someone can reach in your head and just reprogram you like that, what else could they do to you? Like, could we potentially see maybe Masaki lose her perfect memory, the thing that defines her? Could we maybe see Aichi lose his connection to his friends and his family? These would be fascinating things to explore, and I like just the smallness of that scene. You really feel just how little Tetsu and Ren are in the grand scheme of things. Unfortunately, we will never see this go anywhere because we're in an arc featuring Psyqualia zombies! But it was nice for what it was. Okay, the third thing, and this one actually there is no downside to. I actually really like this bit. I like Ren telling Asuka that he refuses to fight her while she's suffering, and he seems legitimately caring and sad of what she's going through at the moment. Like, he's 100% concerned, and when he finds out what Suiko did, he actually seems really mad. Okay, not like super mad, but the way the actor plays it, you definitely get this sense of aggression, and I really like that. So that is especially considering where next episode is going, I appreciate that. Alright, now that that's over with, let's really just tear into this fucking nonsense. So, problem one, the opening scene. After, once again, as I pointed out last week, after an alien force we just met, just possessed a plot point we barely know anything about, we get him revealing his ultimate grand weapon, his greatest thing that will allow him to achieve world domination. 3 average-sounding pop idols. That is his plan. It's a stupider version of the plot to Josie and the Pussycats. Like, his plan, like, this is just stupid. Oh god, I can barely summarize it. Although the next thing that I personally find funny, this obviously isn't intentional, is that, so, the next bit is while explaining to, no wait, there's one other thing I gotta talk about before that, and that is that, what's-his-face, Ibuki is confused by the deleter thing saying that Takuto's been literally deleted. First up, the deleter guy says he was able to ride Takuto. There is literally a scene of dialogue where an alien monster thing with hentai tentacles said that he's currently riding a small boy. That happened, people. So then, like, he goes to Takuto, he goes to Ibuki. He's like, oh, didn't you know I deleted him in real life? And then Ibuki's like, yeah, that's just in the world of the game. The implications of this, I choose to believe that if there's any thought put into this at all, it's that Ibuki is blissfully unaware that he's been doing anything to anybody. Like, he just doesn't realize that he just literally changes a person's brain and makes them not want to card fight anymore. Like, he sees former opponents who, like, don't want to play the game, or he's just like, they were just a bitch-ass poser. Like, that's what's going on here. That is the dialogue they approved. So then we get the next bit, and this is really unintentionally funny. I mean, most of this episode is unintentionally funny. But so then Suiko wakes up, and first up, whose stupid idea was it to make it that the stupid triangle thing just floats over their head? Like, it's floating! Like, on Takuto, it's, like, actually printed on his forehead. Like, they drew it. Like, everyone else we see, it looks like it's added in post. Like, what the hell? And, like, you can claim that's how it looks in the manga. And if that's how it looks in the manga, fine. I don't care. This is the show. So, then, like, his three idiot soldiers walk in. And here's the thing. If we're going to be nitpicky, and we are because it's fun, Rekka and Korin were in other parts of the city, I assume outside the rich people area. So that means that Ibuki sat there long enough for the other two to come into the room. I choose to believe Ibuki sat there for an hour and a half and just, like, ate the guy's food or something, waiting for the moment to storm out like an idiot. I choose to believe that is canon, damn it. So then we move on to the next bit, and that is everyone going into the schools. I don't want to touch on Aichi and crew doing nothing for 25 minutes. Like, at that point, don't even include scenes of them. Like, the actors don't need a paycheck this week. It's okay. So then we get into the three girls and the Deleter's big invasion plan. It's not to somehow maybe sneak into a police station. It's not to somehow get involved with the military. Hell, it's not even to sort of bribe politicians. And don't say they can't do that. He's got three pretty girls at his disposal. He'll figure something out. So that's not the plan. The plan is to sneak into local high schools, beat card game players, because as we all know, the average card game player is such a fitness nut that they'll be able to help in a worldwide invasion. And then do something from there. Because remember, people, this is a universe where one of the established rules is that Vanguard is a very small part of it. Those are the rules that Cardfight Vanguard was supposed to be operating on, and that is Vanguard is just kind of there. It's why episode 1 back in 2011 opens with card games are popular in this world, and this is the one that's popular right now. It is setting up that this is a more realistic universe, and this show continued that. Now, yes, you have fantastical elements like Psyqualia and Planet Cray, but to the majority of the world, the established logic of the universe is Vanguard is just like a popular esport level thing. Which means that taking over a school's card game club is not going to do you anything. But no, that's what happens. Suiko walks into the club and just starts beating people. And they're all like, well, she's the most expensive hot stamped gift marker, so alright, we'll just go along with this nonsense. And she takes on Dog Boy. And okay, the scene where Dog Boy sniffs for a heel trigger, that's kind of funny. Beats Dog Boy. And, like, in that moment, I'm thinking to myself, so if you threw a brick at any of these idiots' heads and killed them, would the whole plot just be over? Like, look, I'm not saying that, like, murdering people is a good solution, but, like, is that a thing? Because if that's a thing, there is nothing threatening about this plot at all. So then we get the next thing that proves why this is a stupid plot, and that is when, the Asuka wants to fight Dog Boy instead of calling a teacher or calling the police or killing somebody with a brick. I really want to see someone die by being hit in the head with a brick. So that happens. But then, like, Suiko breaks the logic because then Suiko says, oh no, even though he has Psyqualia now, this poorly defined, really stupid plot contrivance, even though he has it, chances of him beating you are slim to none. Think about this, people. The evil plot device that the villains are going to use for world domination and end all of humanity does not actually help them or really improve them that much. That is a thing here. They established this, and we have to go into the rest of the season thinking this is a credible threat. That just happened. Jesus. So then, Suiko takes on Asuka in a Angel Feather versus Pale Moon matchup, and considering Excel versus Protect can get really grindy and slow, I'm going to assume Asuka just got put to sleep, and then Suiko's like, she wins, I win, Rule Shark, take him over, judge! So, then we get the bits with Rekka taking over people as well, which is even more pointless because she's taking over middle schoolers. So that's gonna do nothing. And then, like, Kyo is surrounded in his Dragon Ball Z aura, only it looks really fucking cheap. So that was goofy. Korin is resisting the control, which also helps make our villain seem not very threatening. And then the episode just sort of stops with the Ren Asuka stuff. And of course, Ren will beat Asuka because Ren is heavily marketable. And I don't know if he actually wins in the manga. I'm going to assume yes. And this was pretty terrible and dumb. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume part of the problem, because this is also where the manga loses people as well, is that the person who writes the manga, his specialty is character relationships. His specialty is people, and like the card game aspect feels secondary. Sort of something like March comes in like a lion. But then, like, probably the studio says, well, a lot of this has to sort of relate back to what's going on in the anime, so he struggled to put together a plot that sort of fit in with what's overall going on, and now we're stuck with it. So yeah, that was this week's episode. I am curious to see how Ren versus Asuka goes, so we'll talk more about that next week. As for the Vanguard question of the week, who do you think is going to win Worlds? I know this question ends tomorrow, but if you're watching this video after that, tell me why you think that deck won Worlds. Or if a deck you liked made it pretty far. I just watched my golds get curb stomped, so I am a sad boy. So that was that. Anyways, so tell me what you thought about this episode below, the question, and all that good stuff. Yeah, I know my phone went off a lot, but I don't care enough to address it right now. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and tell me if you want to talk about Promised Neverland or Boogie Pop, because I would rather talk about that right now.